When we think of soldiers in World War I, we often picture trenches, mud, and misery. But what we rarely talk about are the ingenious survival kits those men carried. Long before GPS, hydration packs, or Gore-Tex jackets, World War I soldiers relied on compact, handmade, and brutally practical tools that kept them alive through cold, hunger, and chaos. And the surprising truth? Many of their survival tricks still outperform modern gear. But before we dig up the past, make sure you subscribe to Strange History, where forgotten wartime survival skills are brought back to life, and might just teach us something about resilience today. When you hear trench knife, you might imagine brutal close combat, and yeah, that was part of it. But the World War I trench knife was far more than just a blade. It was a multi-purpose survival tool. Soldiers used it to cut rations, open crates, hammer nails, or even dig small holes in the frozen mud. The most famous version, the United States M1917 and M1918 trench knives, had brass knuckles built into the handle for self-defense, but their real genius was in their simplicity. Unbreakable steel, a full tang, and a design that didn't rust easily in damp trenches. Modern tactical knives might look flashier, but none are as brutally efficient or as easily maintained as the knives those men carried through France's mud and blood. The World War I mess kit wasn't just a lunchbox, it was a cookpot, pan, cup, and plate, all in one. Soldiers could boil water, fry meat, or mix coffee right on the fire. The United States model, known as the M1910, folded into itself with military precision. When paired with a small trench stove or even a few burning sticks, it could turn battlefield scraps into a hot meal. Today's camping cookware often imitates this design: aluminum, compact, and stackable, but few match the sheer durability of the original. Many World War I mess tins, dented and blackened from smoke, are still functional today. Before nylon and silicone coatings, there was waxed canvas. Soldiers used it as a poncho, shelter, stretcher, or ground cloth. Its genius lay in its natural materials, cotton or linen infused with beeswax or linseed oil. The result? A fabric that resisted rain, stayed flexible in cold weather, and could even be patched in the field. Modern survival gear relies on synthetics that tear easily or lose waterproofing over time. Waxed canvas, on the other hand, could be reproofed endlessly. Many veterans kept theirs long after the war, using them for camping or farm work. It's a simple lesson we've forgotten: nature and practicality often beat technology. World War I soldiers often went days without fresh food, so the army issued a small, dense emergency ration tin. Honestly, it was a marvel of early food science. Inside were things like compressed beef powder, hard biscuits, and a chocolate or fat bar that could last for years without spoiling. The British iron ration, for example, was designed to provide over 1,000 calories in a single serving. It was sealed airtight, water-resistant, and packed so tightly that soldiers often needed a knife, or even a bayonet just to open it. If you compare that to today's energy bars, which, expire in a few months and crumble if they get wet, it's kinda wild. The World War I rations weren't pretty, but they kept men alive through sieges and retreats. And actually, many soldiers secretly hoarded them for emergencies long after the armistice. In the mud and filth of the trenches, even a scratch could turn deadly. That's why every soldier carried a small sealed tin containing field dressings, iodine, and morphine syrettes. The design was brilliantly simple: waterproof, crush-resistant, and small enough to fit inside a uniform pocket. Soldiers could open it with one hand, even while wounded. Modern first aid kits often focus on quantity over practicality, but World War I's version prioritized speed and survival. Many reenactors and bushcrafters still recreate them today, finding the design ideal for minimalist survival setups. It may sound trivial, but the housewife kit, as soldiers jokingly called it, was vital. It held needles, thread, spare buttons, and safety pins, pretty much everything needed to repair torn uniforms, reattach gear, or fix a ripped pack. In the trenches, a ripped coat could honestly mean freezing to death. Soldiers learned to sew fast, patch thick wool, and just make do with what they had. That small roll of fabric, part toolkit, part lifeline, really taught self-reliance in its purest form. Today, most of us would just buy new gear. But back in 1917, survival meant knowing how to mend, not replace. Something as simple as a candle could actually be a soldier's best friend. Carried in a tin with matches sealed in wax, these small kits provided light, heat, and even morale when all else failed. Soldiers used candles to dry socks, melt ice for drinking water, or signal through periscope mirrors in the dark. Even trench raids sometimes depended on their dim, steady flame. Modern LED lights can't melt frost off a rifle bolt or dry out a wet boot, but a candle sure could. It's a humble tool that honestly reminds us, sometimes, the oldest technology still works best. The World War I soldier's survival kit wasn't exactly sleek or high-tech. It was simple, durable, and human, designed to function in mud, blood, and exhaustion. Every item had multiple uses. Every ounce really mattered. Today's gear often depends on batteries, synthetics, or single-purpose designs. But the soldiers of 1914 to 1918 built their survival around resourcefulness, not convenience. Maybe that's the real skill we've lost. Their survival kits didn't just protect them from the elements. They reflected a mindset: fix it, reuse it, adapt it, survive. So, next time you pack for a hike or a camping trip, just remember, the best survival gear might not be new. It might be 100 years old. What's one World War I survival skill you think we've forgotten the most? Bermain cranes, would spot into mine. Repair, rationing, or resilience. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Strange History for more forgotten inventions and battlefield secrets that still matter today.